Hey there everyone, welcome to another technical video from defaultroot.co.uk. My name is Richard and today I'm going to take you through a very basic, commonly used password recovery process for Cisco iOS routers, whatever you want to call them. So yeah, this is commonly used. I mean, you don't really want to have to come across using this, but maybe you're not very good at your documentation and you've forgotten to record one of your enable passwords, or maybe you've had some contractors on site, they've done some work for you and left, and they haven't told you the passwords that they used, so you're locked out of the box. Sometimes the best way to deploy password protection is using some sort of remote access like Radius or TACACS Plus, something like that. But the tried and trusted and happy to use local database with a username and password is always an easy backup. But if you're using the enable password, this is the recovery process for you. So I've got a 3825 sat just down the hall there, and I know the password to it, so I've kind of logged in. You can see there on the prompt we're in privileged exec mode with the hash there. Yeah, we're already there. But normally you wouldn't have access to the router. This is the whole point. Yeah, you're trying to recover it. But just because I'm too lazy to walk in the room and turn the thing off, I'm gonna do a reload from here. So so normally you've got a box, you can't get into it. So how do you fix it? So get a serial cable, plug it into the console port on the back of the device, of the router, whatever. Connect it to your laptop or your PC as in the serial port. Fire up some terminal software, whether that's Hyperterminal or Secure CRT or iTerm or Terminal on an OS X box or something like that. Power up some serial software, and then you're going to have to fire off a break signal. Now I'm very lucky here because I've got a console server connected to it, and I've got a Java applet here with a nice big send break key. I like that, nice and easy, good for me because I'm getting on a bit, it helps me out. But if you've got some terminal software on there that you like to use, like Secure CRT or Hyperterminal, every piece of software has got a different break sequence. I find it's very hard to remember what they are. So find out what the break sequence is on your terminal software. I've seen Control Escape being used, Control C being used, Control right square bracket being used. What else have I seen? Control forward slash being used. But anyway, so they're all different, and some of them need to set up a custom key map. But yeah, have a look what the break sequence is on your terminal software, because you need that. So you've got your router in a rack. You don't know the password. You've plugged into the console cable, you plugged it into your laptop or your PC, you fired up your terminal software, you're equipped with the break sequence, you power your router on. When you get to the bootstrap prompt here, start hitting the break key. It doesn't matter how many times you hit it. If you hit it too many times, your PC will beep at you, saying like the key's stuck or something. Its buffer's full. Stop hitting my keys. But it doesn't matter really. Just keep pounding away, and don't go crazy. But couple of break sequences always seems to work for me. So yeah, as you see the bootstrap prompt, hit the break sequence, and you'll drop into this rommon prompt here. The rommon 1 means this is the first prompt I've got, and you haven't executed any commands yet. That's it. That's the step where you need to be. Okay, so the command we're going to use is confreg. This is short for configure register, and all you're doing here is you're setting a register as you're setting the register in the router to ignore the startup configuration file. So as the router normally comes up, it reads a text file off the flash on your router, and it goes down the list one by one, reading all the lines out of the config file and setting up the router. That's the way it works, and that's your startup file, right? And in the startup file you've got the enable password that you've forgotten. So you don't want it to read that startup file, otherwise you'll be back where you were. So by setting the configure register to 2142, 0x2142, you're basically telling the router not to read the startup configuration file. And actually the number that tells it to do that is this 4 here. Yeah, the normal config register setting is 0x2102, and in the past I've seen some really shady people setting the configuration register to 2142 and seeing these poor green engineers just turning the router on and setting up the configuration and then reloading it, and it's all gone again, and setting up again and reloading it and it's all gone again, and getting really freaked out by it. But it's just a little joke really. So yeah, confreg 0x2142 means bypass the startup configuration. So you hit return there, and then the router will prompt you to reset or power it off. It's not lost. It's stored in NVRAM, so you can turn it off if you want. But I'm going to do a reset. So we'll do a reset here, and the router will reboot. It'll load the iOS software, and it'll go to a prompt. So I'm going to see you guys when I get to there, and I'll explain where we are. Okay, so here we are. The router's come back now. It's booted the iOS, and as I promised you, it's not read the startup configuration. So you remember when you got your fresh, brand new router, and you took it out of the box and you racked it and you plugged it in for the first time and you turned it on, the console prompt would give you this: would you like to enter the initial configuration dialog? Yes or no. All right, so you can tell now by seeing that it's not looked at. There is no startup configuration in running memory, so it's not read anything. So we're going to say no. Right, so let's talk a little bit about this. So your password that you don't know is in the startup configuration file. So quite rightly, you've now bypassed the startup configuration so that you can boot the router. But all of the great commands that are in that configuration that your £1,000 a day contractor put in for you, you still want that. You still want that work. You don't want to lose all the configuration that guy did. You just want to change the password so you know what the heck it was, right? So here's the key. When you've done the no and you're back at the prompt, you can now go into privileged exec mode. You can go in there because there's no running configuration. You know, there's nothing in here. There's nothing in here whatsoever. Yeah, it's just completely empty. So you can go into privileged exec mode and everything's going to be absolutely spot on, right? So now you're in here. What you can do is copy the startup configuration, which isn't running. Yeah. You can do this, and you can copy the startup configuration into the running configuration. Yeah. So now it's taken the startup configuration that's in the flash and copied it line by line, just as if you were typing them each one by one into running configuration. So you see the prompts changed. It was router hash, and now it's 3825 hash. That was my initial. That was my startup configuration's host name. So you know, I'm good. I'm good. So let me just have a quick look in here for my configuration. Yeah, that's all looking pretty good. So I've got my enable secret in there. I've got my enable secret in there. Well, listen, that sounds really bad. So now I've got an enable password back on this, and I haven't set one yet. So if I come out of privileged exec mode, I'm going to have to go back into privileged exec mode, and I still don't know the password. So here's the next step. Go into configuration, config T, and then reset the enable secret password. Okay. Enable secret, and we're going to just use Cisco for the demonstration. Okay, so that was the password we don't know, obfuscated, obviously, and this is the password we're just going to set it to. And now we just need to write that to flash, and now if I just do a let's just do a show run now, you should see that this has changed. Maybe not. Maybe I can't show you now because it's flashed over. But anyway, so now we've got a new enable secret. The old one has been overwritten by our new one, and we've written it to RAM. So the final step here is to reset the configuration register. So remember, we set it to 2142 to ignore the startup config. So what we're going to do is set the config register to 0x2102, which means read the startup configuration file. Okay, so notice it's not conf-reg, it's configure. Okay, and in the configuration mode. But again, we need to do the so we'll do it the right way now. So we'll do copy running config to startup config, and it will save that. So that's it. That's the final step, and hopefully now you'll be able to recover your router, and I won't go through another reset process. It's just wasting your time. But I appreciate you dropping by today. Thank you very much. Have a look at our rest of our videos, and hop onto the website, look at our articles, look at our blog, give us some feedback. We'd love to hear from you. Thank you very much for your attention. See you next time.